Hello everyone, welcome back to Come Sit at My Table. We're Tom and Melissa and we appreciate that you're here for this video. Well, it's about 3 days after Thanksgiving. The turkey has been eaten, the dressing is all gone, the cranberry sauce was eaten long ago, our company is all gone, and we're headed toward Christmas. But now that the big meal is over, and we really don't want to spend a long time in the kitchen, we're going to make something that's pretty quick and easy. It's a slow cooker meal. Today we're going to make chicken bacon rice casserole, but it's made in a slow cooker, so it's very quick and simple. Let's talk about what you're going to need to make this casserole dish. We're going to start with chicken. Now you can use 4 or 5 large skinless, boneless chicken breasts, but I find it's just as easy to throw in some chicken tenders. So I just bought a 2.5 pound bag of chicken breast tenderloins. You will want to make sure that those are defrosted if you get the frozen ones. You'll want them thawed. Now, 2 pounds is enough, but since there was 2.5 pounds in that bag, I didn't want to have just a few pieces left over to store in the freezer, so I'm using them all. You're also going to want about 1 pound of bacon, and we're going to cook that before we put it in the slow cooker. So we will just, after we go through our ingredients here, we'll start our bacon, and I will show you how I do my bacon. Rather than fry my bacon in slices and then try to chop it up, I chop it first. I think it makes it much easier to fry up, especially since it's going to have to be chopped anyway. All right, we also are going to use 2 10.5 ounce cans of cream of chicken soup. And we'll just take it straight out of the cans and put it in. We don't dilute it with anything else.
And you can always use the low sodium ones.
Absolutely. If you're a heart patient or you're watching blood pressure or whatever, use the heart healthy version, the low sodium. Or, you don't necessarily have to be a heart patient or have medical issues to use that. Just if that's what you feel is best for you and your family, then use the heart healthy, the low sodium. We're also going to need 1 pack of Hidden Valley Ranch mix. Now, I don't buy it in packs anymore. I buy these big tubs. So if you buy packs, you're just going to use 1 pack. But if you've got the tub, you're going to use 2 to 3 tablespoons. I think I've got about 2.5 to 3 tablespoons in there. We also need 2 cups of milk. And I'm using whole milk. I don't like the fat-free stuff, so 2 cups of whole milk. Then we need 1 cup of long grain rice. This is just long grain white rice. You really probably can't use something like minute rice in this because it's going to cook up and just kind of become mushy. So you do want the long grain white rice. I think brown rice would work fine too. I've never made this dish with the brown rice, but I don't know why that wouldn't work. If you prefer brown rice, then I think you could use it. And then we need about 1.5 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. I'm using mild, that's our favorite, but if you like sharp, then, use sharp. Use whatever you like best, but about 1.5 cups of that. All right, so the first thing we have to do is get our bacon started frying. So let's move over to the stove, and I'm just going to take out a few pieces of our bacon. We want 1 pound, and this pack that I have is 1.5 pounds. So I won't use all of it, but I just take a pair of kitchen scissors and start cutting up my bacon into chunks. And I should have turned that fire on. Let me do that. I just cut it up into chunks and then fry it. That's easier for me than trying to fry the whole pieces or bake them, which is what I usually do with bacon. So I just chop them up like this, whatever size you want. This is going to cook in the slow cooker for about 3.5 to 4 hours. So you don't want your bacon to just disappear in there. You want decent sized chunks of bacon, just kind of bite-sized pieces. Let's get that all chopped up in there. That will start to fry up fairly quickly. Now, after it is fried up, we will need to drain that. You don't want that bacon grease in your casserole. So we will drain it. You can hear it already starting to fry. Okay, there's about half of what we need. About that many more. You know, once Thanksgiving is over and everybody leaves, it's a little bit of a letdown, isn't it? The house is empty, it's quiet again. So it's nice to have something different to eat, especially after you've already had all the turkey and dressing. It's kind of nice just to have something a little different. But really, after cooking a big meal like Thanksgiving, you really don't want to be in the kitchen for hours fixing another big meal.
Something in the crock pot's a nice change of pace.
Absolutely.
Too.
You know, I've always heard, in fact, we have a friend who works for a pizza delivery place here in town, and we have always heard that the number one day out of the entire year for pizza delivery is the day after Thanksgiving, which is kind of strange to me. I would think that's the biggest day for leftovers. But now, Melissa, I'm going to trade places with you so I can wash my hands. So we want to get that bacon started. I'm going to grab a spoon and just kind of break that up some. The pieces are all kind of stuck together. Let's just kind of break those apart. They will break apart as they fry. But let's just help them a little bit. And while that is frying, we will start mixing together our other ingredients to make the sauce for our casserole. Okay, we're just going to let that sit there and fry, and I will occasionally come back and just stir that and try to break those pieces up some as they fry along. Okay, so we're going to start by putting our chicken in our slow cooker. I'm just going to slide that in. That plate, put that lid back on. Now we're just going to mix everything else up. Get that out of my way. So I think I'm going to start by putting the milk in. Doesn't matter what order you put this in, you just want to put it all in and stir it up. So 2 cups of milk. Our Hidden Valley, I'm sorry? What'd you start to say?
What was that? You moved the bowl on me.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Hidden Valley ranch mix. We'll put our soup in and get that mixed up really well. And, you know, if it's not completely mixed up, it'll be okay. It'll cook up in that slow cooker. All that out there. Okay. I just jerked that bowl right out from under you, didn't I?
That's okay.
Sorry.
I usually try to anticipate what you're doing next.
Yeah, you're pretty good at that. You're pretty good at reading me. Okay. So we've got all that in. Scrape that off there. So we can get it mixed up. All right, now I'm gonna mix that up just a little bit. See if I can, without making too big of a mess. Just kind of break that soup up some right there against the side of the pan. I think ranch dressing mix. And bacon and chicken go together so well. Okay, so that's pretty well mixed up. Now we're going to add in our rice. 1 cup of long grain rice. We'll just stir that in. Now, notice we did not cook that rice. It's uncooked. All right. And about half of the cheese. We're going to save the other half to go on top. So we'll put about, that's probably half or maybe a little better. I might have put more than half, but that's okay. All right, now we want the bacon in there. Let's see if the bacon's even close to being ready. No, not really. It's still frying. So we will let the bacon continue to fry. When it's, I don't want it crunchy done. I just want it, I don't want it raw either. So about medium. But when it's about done, we will come back, we'll drain it and add it in, and then we'll come back and put our casserole together in the crock pot. So we'll see in just a minute. Our bacon is just about finished frying. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, and we're going to drain it. Now, you will notice in here, there's a lot of grease. We do not, I'm going to get a spoon to keep from knocking some of that out. We do not want to throw that grease away. That grease is like liquid gold. You want to hold on to that. Put that in a jar if you've got an empty mason jar or ball jar, or a jar that you've emptied out of your refrigerator. Save that grease. That's great for green beans or whatever you're fixing that you need a little grease in. That's perfect. So save that grease. Melissa, could you put a link in this video to our Southern Country Style green beans?
I will do that.
That would be a perfect side dish for this casserole. So Melissa will put a link at the top of this screen to our green bean recipe. It's not really a recipe, it's just how we cook ours. And you will use a little bacon grease. So that'll be up there. That will really go well with this casserole. Okay. Got a few pieces still floating in there. But you can see, you just want to kind of drain it off. Get that grease off there. We'll use this slotted spoon. I think that'll drain it a little better. Okay. Now, we're just going to take our bacon that we have kind of drained. We'll pat it a little bit just to get any of that excess grease out of there. And we're going to add it right into our other mixture. All right. I think I will use the spatula for this, just to stir it in. And then this goes right on top of our chicken in the slow cooker. Yum.
And you did spray the slow cooker.
I did.
Mention that. I don't know if you did or not.
No, I don't think I did mention that, but absolutely I did spray the slow cooker because it just makes your cleanup easier. Okay, so this goes right in on top of your chicken. And of course we'll scrape all that out there. Sorry.
Look at that, got in your way.
Okay. And I am going to just kind of go down under my chicken a little bit and make sure that some of this sauce is down under there. Want it under your chicken too. But you do want your chicken submerged down in there.
From sticking on the bottom.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. Okay.
And your cheese?
Now, let's finish the top with our cheese. And this is up to you how much you want to put on it. It says about half of the cup and a half, so it'd be about 3/4 of a cup. But, if you just absolutely love cheese, you can put a little more if you want to. If you don't love cheese, you don't have to put so much. It's up to you. Okay, we're going to put our lid on, and I am locking it down. Now, we had a few people in another video who commented and said, oh, you're not supposed to lock that lid. Well, actually you are. I read the direction book after that just to make sure I was doing it right. This has vent holes, and it does say that the lid is to be locked down during cooking. It's what holds the steam in. So we're going to turn this on high, and we're going to cook it for 3.5 to 4 hours. We'll just let it sit there and cook. Probably closer to 4. Now, the rice in this dish is going to absorb a lot of that moisture, so it's not going to be a soupy mess of a dish. It should be a little thicker and creamier. So we'll just let it sit here and cook for about 3.5 to 4 hours, and when it's ready, we'll come back and show you what it looks like. Our slow cooker chicken bacon rice casserole has been in for just over 3.5 hours. And usually 3.5 to 4 hours is plenty of time for it. So let's check it and see what it's like. I'm just going to unplug it and move it over here on the counter. Now, there is a possibility that it has gotten a little too thick. It's all depending on that rice. Sometimes it soaks up more and sometimes it soaks up less. But we'll check it and see.
And that smells wonderful, baby.
Our house smells so good, doesn't it?
It does, when you took that lid off.
Yep. So I'm just going to stir it a little bit. Oh yeah, it's nice and creamy. Nice. I'm just going to stir it around down in there. That chicken has really cooked up. So we'll just take a good spoon of that. There's a piece of chicken and some of that rice. Right on our plate. That looks so good. And that's going to be really hot. So let me cut a piece of this chicken. Oh my goodness, it is so tender. Yum. Oh, it's going to be hot, hot. I don't know if I can do this. While that's cooling, let me tell you that if you open it up and it has gotten a little too thick, and this, you can see that this is really creamy. That's just perfect. You can see there. But if it has gotten a little too thick, you can add a little bit of water or chicken broth or a little more milk. You know, we put 2 cups of milk in it. So I would really recommend either milk or the chicken broth, but you could just add a little water if you wanted to, whatever works for you. I would be careful though and add it just a little at a time because you don't want it to become watery. Oh, it's hot. That is absolutely delicious. Just as good as I remembered. That is really good. You know, you've got rice, you've got chicken, you have cheese. You've got a good meal right here. But you can just add one side item. Today we're doing steamed broccoli. Or you could do green beans or whatever you wanted. Just, you know, maybe put one other side item. Or Melissa suggested just put a salad with it. And that would be delicious. But, you know, here we are after Thanksgiving. We've had huge meals. This is something really fast, really simple. The hardest thing about this is frying the bacon. And let me tell you, the flavor of that bacon in there is wonderful. I really could taste that bacon in there. So that, honestly, that makes the whole dish. But that's the hardest thing to do. Once you get that bacon fried up, the rest of it you just throw in. All right. Wow, that is so good. That could be one of my favorite casseroles, really. Thank you so much for watching. remember to go right below the video and give us a thumbs up. Click that subscribe if you haven't already. We would appreciate you doing those things. Remember that right under the video, you'll see the title of the recipe that we've just done. If you click that title, that box will expand. Melissa always puts the written recipe there for you, so you have it written down if you'd like to have it. Again, we thank you for watching our videos, and we want you to remember that you are always welcome to come sit at our table. And I guess now I should say, Merry Christmas.